Shorts fans, we're here today in Norfolk, Virginia, visiting a seafood market, Welton Seafood Ghent. And I'm here with owner John, and he's going to show us today a beautiful Norwegian salmon. He's going to teach us the proper way of filleting this little beauty. So John, can you tell us about this guy and where he comes from?
The Norwegian salmon is a farm-raised salmon. It's farm-raised in Norway, in open water. A little bit better quality when it's done like that instead of in somebody's pen on land where they have to pump water in and try to keep on changing out the water to keep it fresh. And the reason why we carry this, it's sushi quality, high oil content, really nice buttery rich flavor, just all around tasty salmon.
Cool. And so what are the proper steps to filleting a fish like this?
Just having a nice level surface. The fish does have, just natural slime on it, and I try to beforehand just wipe the slime off so I have a nice stable platform so when I'm cutting into it, it's not sliding around too much. Some people will take salt and salt the board so it's almost like a natural friction to hold on to the fish. Good sharp knife, just always be aware of where your other hand is so you're not cutting into it. And just what you're doing is you're riding the bones. Once you cut into the fish, you feel the bones and just ride along. Take the salmon one fillet off at a time.
Okay, and you need a proper fillet knife, right?
Yes, just a good boning knife. The one I prefer to use is a Dexter Russell. It's a high carbon, nice flex to it, keeps a good edge. And I like the one with the black handle just because it's like a rubber handle so I have a good grip.
Okay, great. Perfect.
And just take your first cut right up by his collar on a slant. What you're trying to do is get all that meat that's located up by his shoulder. And just go down until you hit your center bone, your spine. And then what you do is just angle your knife at about a 30-degree angle, plunge in, and you can feel right on as you're on the bones, and you just want to run the knife straight down, and you always get stuck right there in the spine. Take your knife out, just turn it around, and what you're doing is riding those bones right there. And you can hear that.
A little bit of crackle.
A little bit of crackle as it rides bone. Put your thumb in, lift the fillet up, and what you're doing is cracking through those pin bones. And I'll show you later how to get those pin bones out. Then turn your knife the other way, come back in, go a little bit above the spine on the slant, go over the spine, plunge your knife all the way through, take that out. What you've done is just remove the bottom part of the fillet, come back in around the spine, rib cage. What you want to do is just find your knife in there. And what I do is I put my finger in there underneath the rib cage so I have a grip, something to hold on to. And then I just ride along that rib cage. And then one fillet. Just like that.
Beautiful. That's really...
And there's other ways that you can do it. For the second side is always a little bit harder just because you've already removed one side of the fish and the spine doesn't sit level anywhere or straight anymore, it has a little bend to it. But same thing, start up at the collar, start from the belly, go up behind the shoulders, stop right when you hit the center of the bone. Come down, you do this a little different, come down to the tail, just ride all the way to the center once again. Take your knife, same thing, 30-degree angle, feel the bones, and just ride in along just like that. And this is where it gets difficult because that slant of the fish, your knife will catch the bones and start to cut into them. So what you do is you come back up to the top, go in from the shoulder, same 30-degree angle, and you just feel where you left off and connect the two parts. And you never really connect always, or I never do. So I always have to poke through just like that. And once again, find the pin bones, cut through your pin bones. And what you do is slant your knife again just to go over the spine. And once you're over the spine, put your knife down at an angle and take the other side of the fillet off. Then come back up by the rib cage. Get it started a little bit. Ride through. And then you have your second fillet.
And then all you have to do from here is just clean it up?
Clean it up, and the easiest way to do that is everyone can go and buy a good pair of stainless steel pliers at an expensive food store, but the easy thing is just buy a new pair of needle nose pliers at the store. They work just as well. And you grab each pin bone individually and just pluck them out. And that's the easiest way to take the pin bones out. Some people will tell you to cut around them, but you're missing a whole bunch of bone if you do it that way. And then just work yourself all the way down the fillet. And then you can get every little pin bone out.
And it's just going to be right down the spine where the spine was, right?
It's a little offset from the spine. The spine was right here. Pin bones are set a little higher, a little closer to the shoulders. And that's just where their lateral line is. I like to say I think that's where their lateral line is. And that's just another way they can sense stuff in the water. And that's just to stabilize their flesh.
Okay, and then after you remove all the pin bones, all you do is just kind of clean up this area.
Clean up the belly meat, and I can actually show you that.
Now some people can prefer to eat the belly meat, right?
The belly meat you actually really like. That's the main part used in sushi. Just because it's higher fat content. A little bit more flavor there, a little bit stronger of a flavor, but not a bad flavor. The easiest way to do that is turn it so it's facing away from you. And I always start at the back here. And we just take one of his fins that we took off the fish. We try to avoid taking off what it came with the fillet this time. Remove that area from the fish, from the fillet. And what you do is what you're doing is holding your knife against the flesh and just pressing down slightly. So you're getting that last stomach liner off. Now this is something that most people do not eat, and that's basically just the stomach liner of the salmon. And then you work yourself up. And you can see some of the bones from his rib cage are still in there. So you just want to plunge down deep enough that you know you're getting all those bones, but not too deep to get too much flesh, because that is a really tasty part of the salmon.
Now I know that some people prefer to have their salmon without the skin on, period, so even the bottom side.
Yes.
Is there a really easy technique to removing that part of the salmon?
Very easy technique for removing that part of the salmon. And that's, once again, just the quality of a fillet knife, and just practice makes perfect. If you were to skin the fish whole, what you would do is just start from here and go that way. But what we do here is most people don't come in and buy the whole salmon. Everybody wants steaks. So what we'll do is we stake the fish out. Somebody wants a portion. Let's see. What I always do is I cut it into portions first for the customer, turn it sideways to me, and then what I'll do is come down, remove any excess bones that I might have taken out in the filleting process. It just cleans the salmon up, makes it look nice for the customer. And what you do is you have a little ridge right there. As you can see where your knife's going to go in between the flesh and the skin. Always have that away from you. And what you're going to do is just have your knife on about a 7 to 8 degree angle and just feel the skin and ride along the skin. And a little trick what I do is try to remove the center bloodline as much as I can. I slant up towards the flesh and I remove that center bloodline. We're going to get to the center. I slant back down towards the skin again. And what that does, it removes that center bloodline and this not really desirable piece of meat.
That's the dark piece that you see sometimes.
Yes. Okay. And that's one of the easiest ways to fillet. Take the skin off.
That's really cool. So now let me ask you, you discarded the fish head, but a lot of people like the salmon cheeks.
Salmon cheeks, they are delicious. I have very few customers that go after the salmon head and the salmon cheeks. The collar, I do have a lot of people come to me and ask me for the collar from time to time. Probably twice a week I give away. I just give the head away because I do nothing with it. It's just I have to go through so many salmon that I don't have the facility to take them, clean the gills out, freeze them. Because it really doesn't matter if you freeze the head or not, because you're basically just going after that nice fatty piece of collar meat. But it is right up in there, the jaw, what they call it, is the flavor, really good flavor. But being as Americans, we usually don't go after that.
Right. And you can use the fish head to make stock in.
Yes,
same with the spine as well, right?
Same with the spine. A lot of people use that to make stock, get the good gelatin, the flavor out of there, and use that gelatin for other things also.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much, John. So foodie friends, you don't have to be afraid when you go to the market and see a whole fish. I encourage you to pick one up and use John's techniques to fillet a fish yourself. Bye, thanks for joining us.